You found your way to the Winning Tactics podcast with host Adam Sinkus. Adam discusses winning tactics with small business owners and entrepreneurs, uncovering processes and introducing the tools and solutions for enhancing the bottom line. Thanks again for finding your way to the Winning Tactics podcast, and now your host, Adam Sinkus.
Welcome to this very special episode, Pay It Forward edition of the Winning Tactics podcast. I am your host, Adam Sinkus, and I am excited because we have our very first Pay It Forward recipient, Hunter Hoops, with us today. Hunter, welcome to the show. So glad to have you on. Why don't you start off by telling us who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. Adam, thank you so much for having me on the show, and thank you so much for having me in this program. I'm so happy to be here to talk about it today. A little bit about myself. My name is Hunter Hoops. I am the owner of Hoops Media, and we are a full-scale digital marketing agency out in Arvada, Colorado. We do social media management for small businesses. We do graphic design, videography, and we do photography full-time. We're all over the place, a cornucopia of media, is like I like to say. So, and yeah, I'm the founder, and I'm having a great time leading this business out here. So thank you.
Fantastic. And you're like 24, if
Yep,
I remember
24.
correctly.
I do. Unfortunately, I'm moving away from being the young buck. I'm turning 25 in 2 weeks. So literally 2 weeks from today. So
Very cool. You know, it always amazes me with what we have in resources now, how business owners are becoming younger and younger. And the fact that, you know, you're 24 going on 25, you've just graduated school within the last couple of years, and you're already on your way to a successful business. It's just absolutely amazing to me. You know, you don't have to go look through the yellow pages to find a business consultant anymore.
no, not at all. Completely.
So, and one of the things you told me when we had our conversation was one of the things you thought was really exciting is that, you know, just a couple of years ago you were the intern, and
Yep.
Now you have your own interns.
Yeah, no, I do. It's a crazy transformation because I just remember grinding at multiple internships in college, and I remember looking up to my boss, and I did have one supervisor when I worked at an internship in Florida who was 26. And so that was definitely kind of the dynamic that I feel like I've kind of built with my interns here at Hoops Media, is that he was very, very casual with us, but he was very keen on making sure that we were learning throughout the summer. And so that's kind of the approach that I've been trying to do, is definitely more of first off, it's been very hard to do an internship and not be able to do very hands-on stuff with COVID-19, but I try to do the most that I can. And so that's kind of how I've been doing things.
Very cool. Well, let's jump into this a little bit. I want to start off with, you know, what were you feeling? What was it like when you first found out that you had won as being a recipient of the Pay It Forward?
Yeah, I'm going to do a little shout out to Stephanie Geyer for the nomination. She has been a colleague of mine that I had met, and we had connected on LinkedIn, and she thought that I would be perfect for this Pay It Forward program. And when she first commented on it, you know, there was a long list of nominations, and so I was like, there's no chance, but I super appreciate it, you know. And when I found out, I definitely had to do a double take, but I was super, super excited. And especially, like you said, I mean, I'm very new at this, and this is my first year in business. So to have this opportunity to speak with you and the other professionals, I was super excited, just because that was just a huge opportunity for me.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that, you know, based on that you probably did like some little like dance around the room, got really excited.
Yep.
Yeah.
Popping some confetti cannons here and there. You know how it goes.
Awesome. What was your experience with the coaches like? So you won, we got everything set up. What was your experience like as you met with the coaches?
Yeah, I mean, if we want to go just down the line, I mean, everyone, it was just the way that you guys have built this program is that everyone had a different asset that they were bringing to the table, which was so cool. So like every conversation was not the same at all. And sometimes I'd even ask the same questions a couple times and I'd find drastically different answers, and then I'm like, oh wow, okay. But no, I had such an outstanding time with you, Chuck, Laurie, Jennifer, and Bob. If we want to talk about a little bit of each, Chuck has really, really helped me out already with my LinkedIn page. We really just tackled that and tried to get across best practices, what things I was missing out on, and opportunities that I was really missing out on that I really had no idea about. It was truly incredible. If we're talking about Laurie, she was really fun because she and I worked on disc profiles, and we worked on really kind of like this is kind of really fun just because we're talking about interns, like we were talking about like office relationships and kind of talking about how different office trends are going down. And now that I just hired this person, it was great to be able to talk to her about how I interact with others and learning my disc profile and my personality type and how I do best and what things I can improve on. And so that was really eye-opening with a lot of visuals. Jennifer was certainly someone I was excited to talk to, as she's the social media side of this. And so she had such great insight and intel, especially coming from the National Institute of Social Media. She really has encouraged me to get more involved in that. And so I'm hoping that I can maybe start working towards a certification here in the next couple of years. I know it's a long process through a National Institute, but something I'm certainly interested in. Bob was that dude is hilarious to me. I love talking to Bob. We had a couple sessions together. The first session he had to cut it short, but the second session he made it up for making it like extra long. We walked through all different types of PR practices, and he has some funny stories, and he's a real good guy. I really enjoy talking to him. And you, of course, the best thing about you is definitely problem solving and talking about what opportunities we were missing. A large part of what we talked about is what niches I could either enter into or really focus on, or really building a blog for myself. I mean, the greatest thing that I've noticed from you, Adam, is you are so diverse in so many fields. I mean, you have the Winning Tactics podcast. You're now a part of this you really kind of just show that you really never can limit yourself. And those are some of the biggest takeaways I took from the professionals.
Absolutely fantastic. And, I can't help but, say thank you for your glowing review of me. If you ask all my friends, they say I got my hands in too many things, but you never stop learning. So
no, you never do. And like I said, you always see it as more of or talk to me about it being more of an opportunity that we have all of these different platforms that we can go off of, and we shouldn't just limit ourselves to these things. Don't limit yourself to the norm.
Yep, exactly. Mm-hmm. So absolutely love it. I want to kind of wrap this into how are you going to apply some of this back into your business? What are some changes that you've made or planning on making as a result of some of the things you've learned?
Yeah, that's great. So if I kind of had this planned out where, I want to talk about each professional a little bit more. So like when I talked to Chuck was the first professional that I talked to. Like I said, we did a deep dive on my LinkedIn page, and he has honestly transformed it and helped me transform it into something that is way better than I had before. We really worked around SEO. We worked around my contact information on how people could set up different meetings with me. And we worked around really getting across my brand and knowing and trying to translate all the things that I have, like all of my assets that I can bring to the table. And so that was really cool to be able to transform my LinkedIn because it certainly needed some work. Next was, I think Laurie was the second person I talked to. And so I think I spoke about that a little bit with my interns and kind of learning a lot more about myself. I'd done a couple personality tests when I went to Drake University, and we had done like the Myers-Briggs test and some of the classics. I feel like I'm missing a big one. It was like Skills Finder or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. But that was really cool because I had never gone through the disc profile, but I had worked with someone who had done that. And so her to walk me through that and then go over my personality trait was really eye-opening. Next was Jennifer. And Jennifer we really hit more on some social media questions specifically. She was more specific to questions I had about some things I was doing in my practices, whereas like I was saying, Chuck is more of a general LinkedIn, but I really kind of keyed in on specific questions with Jennifer, especially since she had history in my field. The next one was Bob. And so Bob was really great. He was helping me with all of this PR stuff. And one thing that I've already started to implement is he really recommended that I reach out to several Denver metro area news outlets and kind of introduce myself as a social media marketing professional. And if any stories or any quotes needed, that I could be a great resource for them. And so I've been really trying to get that out. And I've been drafting some letters to editors that have been going really well. And then like with you, I mean, we really were just talking about all these different strategy options that I have and really where you think that my skill set with, I mean, I'm very heavy on social media management, but a huge asset of a huge part of my business is my videography. And so we really started tackling the niches that I could hit with both of those together as an option. And so I've really just been head down, getting busy and putting things into action. So it's been great.
Fantastic, man. You know, it's amazing, to have the conversations, right? And this is from the coach's side of it, to have the conversation and go and you know, and see that you gave out things that really are useful for somebody. And then at the other side of it is like, it's a bit of a pride point when you're like, when you get to work with somebody like yourself that is just so ambitious to take what do we do and apply it in a meaningful way and be excited about applying it. And so, you know, I have a little bit of envy for you. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
You know, there are days that blur together because you're just head down and you know, in working with somebody like you, you know, you really gave me the opportunity to pull my head out of the bushes a little bit and get this really refreshing view. So, so I want to wrap up because this is a nomination process. And so for those of you listening, the Pay It Forward program is really geared towards young business owners, new business owners that are looking to take that next step in growth, nonprofit foundations, to help them with 2.5 hours of free consulting from an amazing team of people. And so we have decided, this was a December initiative, but we have decided collectively as a group that we're going to continue this into 2021. And we're going to have at least 12 more, 12 more recipients on top of the 4 that we had from December. Is there anybody in your circle that you think would be a really awesome fit for the program that could use that extra step forward?
I know I do have one person in mind that I have had a connection with. I have one of my old friends from Drake University who started her own charcuterie board business and has been blasting. It has been unreal. She has been getting so much attention. Her name is Kylie Busick, and she does it's either Kylie charcuterie boards, but it's custom charcuterie boards that she herself crafts together, and she is just off the charts, and they're unbelievable designs, and she is getting order after order, and she honestly sells out. It's unreal. And so like where she's at right now, I can't imagine where she could be at with just all of your guys' help. So
fantastic. Well, we definitely appreciate that. Before we sign off here, I always like to have our guests, where can people find you if they want to learn more about what you're doing in business, or even get some social media services or videography services?
Yeah, you can follow us on Facebook or Instagram at Hoops Media, and that is HOOPES Media. Or you can visit our website, and that has all the details on our pricing for all of our services at www.hoopsmedia.com. And if anyone is interested, I'd be happy to connect with you on LinkedIn, learn a little bit about more you and your business, and do a free consultation. So I'm super open to it, ready to hit the ground running in 2021. So
fantastic. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Really appreciated and enjoyed working with you through the Pay It Forward program, and look forward to following and working with you in the future.
You too. Thank you so much, Adam. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps up yet another episode of the Winning Tactics Podcast. You can find Adam on both the LinkedIn and Facebook platforms. And to support the show and ensure the success of the podcast, would you kindly consider visiting Patreon.com/Adam Sinkus? We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, from the Winning Tactics Podcast, remember, culture is how your team behaves when no one is looking. Take good care, and thanks for listening.